Hey community, this is Dr. Hugh coming at you, and today I want to go over is a really powerful, simple home test that you can do to see how inflamed you actually are. Now, I'm going to go over this test, and I'm also going to go over a case study so you can see one of my clients and the kind of results that we get. Now, what we're really going to be talking about here is it's what we call the OmegaQuant Test. So the test the test I'm going to recommend is called OmegaQuant. And what it really does is it measures how much omega-3 versus omega-6 you have. So at the end of the day, are you omega-3 deficient? And this simple test can tell you if you actually are. Now, here's what happens. Is when we really look at how God designed our body. Now, what should happen here is we should have lots and lots of omega-3s, and we should have less omega-6s. So we want to have an abundance of omega-3 and not so many omega-6s. Now, what's happened over the past basically 130 years with the revelation of processing is that people are eating way, way, way more omega-6s than omega-3s, and this is pro-inflammation. And if you've watched any of my content at all, you know that every single disease grows in a body that is inflamed. So this is the number one test that I found to check for the omega-3, omega-6 ratio that can determine how actually inflamed you actually are. So we want to have a bunch of omega-3s and not a bunch of omega-6s. And what I want to show you right here is just some research on omega-3 fatty acids. Here's right here. This is what we call PubMed right here. You can see PubMed. And PubMed is basically a library of all the research that has ever been done on planet Earth on certain things. And you can do little searches right here. So you can see right here, I did a search on omegas. And you can see over 61,000 research articles on this specific topic. So there's lots of research on what I'm going to go over here, and you'll actually see how powerful this is. And this is a very simple home test that you can have done at your house. So this is one of my clients right here. And I just spoke to him today, and you can see right here, like when he came into me, he had gastritis, heartburn, and indigestion, and GERD. And guess what? That is completely gone. His GERD, indigestion is gone. We've been working with each other for about, 6 weeks maybe. His fatigue is much better. His low energy is better. And his brain fog is way, way much better. He has low weight. He's a thin man, so we're still having some problems having him gain weight. But his overall back pain is much better. And then his diet is substantially better because we worked on his diet. So what I'm about to show you is this is actually going to be this is actually his OmegaQuant test that I'm going to be showing you. So this comes from an actual live human being. All right, so let's get into this. So this right here is, first of all, this is what the test looks like. This is the OmegaQuant test right here. It's very simple. You get this kit shipped to you, auto shipped. If you want this kit, it's very simple. There's going to be somewhere around in this webpage, there's going to be a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my station. If you are watching this on YouTube, there should be a link to my blog where you can order this directly. So you don't need me to write an order. It's simple. You're going to click a button that's going to say order the OmegaQuant. It's going to take you to a website. You order it, you pay, they drop ship it. It comes to your house. You take a little bit of blood just right off your finger. You just prick your finger and do a little couple like blood spots they call. You mail it in. It's already pre-stamped to be mailed back to the lab. It's super, super simple, and it's very easy to do. And basically, it's like, it's like $48 and some shipping costs. Now, let's go over our client here, or my client. So we get 3 really important tests here. So remember up in here, we want omega-3s. We want as many omega-3s as possible. And here, we don't want as many as omega-6s. Now, this first test here is going to show us, generally speaking, what percentage of our red blood cells. So this is actually, we're actually taking a little slice of the red blood cell, and looking at that cell and seeing what is the makeup of that structure of the cell membrane, how much omega-3s are in that structure. Now in here, we look at this test. You can see the range here. So we want this range here, the desired range. We want anywhere between 10 and 12% of your cell membranes to be made up of omega-3. So omega-3 are anti-inflammatory. Omega-6 are pro-inflammatory. And remember, every disease grows in a body that is inflamed. So we want a nice, robust, anywhere between 9 to 12. Now, my client comes in right here at 3.62. So he's in the red zone. He's in the danger zone. So from this one simple test, which costs, I don't know, with shipping, might be $55, right now we have global inflammation, right? And if you look at his symptoms, all these symptoms are global inflammatory markers. Now, the second test that this actually does is this is actually going to check for your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. So everything in life, there's always a dichotomy or a two-terminal universe, like good, bad, right? Omega-3s, omega-6s. There has to be some kind of balance here. Now, what we want here, this can be sometimes a little confusing to read, so let me go into this. So you can see right off the bat, so he's red, right? So his score right up here is 11. See, it's 11.6 to 1. It's a little bit confusing here. So they get really precise. Instead of saying 11, his score is 11.6 to 1, meaning what? Meaning that he has 11 omega-6s for 1 omega-3. So this is the ratio is 11 to 1, right? So he has significant more amounts of omega-6 than omega-3 in the ratio of 11 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. And we really want it down here in the desired range right here. We want it to be like 3 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. So in general, you want to have more omega-6s, but not to the ratio, right? So 3 omega-6s, which is a thumbs down, to 1 omega-3, which is a thumbs up. And he's way over here. He's in the basically 11 omega-6s to 1. So right there, we found a problem. We found some gross global inflammation in his body. Then this next check, this next check that we do, it's all in the same lab here, is we're going to check what we call here is your AA, or that stands for arachidonic acid, which is omega-6. So a fancy word for saying this is omega-6 fatty acid. And if you can look right in here, is elevated AA, arachidonic acid, elevated AA levels, and a high AA to EPA. Now, just hang on. Let me clear some of these words up and these terms up, because this is going to be really, really confusing. So when we talk about AA, which is arachidonic acid, which is omega-6, right? And then we talk about EPA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid. So when God designed us, he designed us with a bunch of omega-3s. And the two most popular ones are EPA and DHA. So EPA and DHA of the omega-3. And then there's a variety of different omega-6s as well. Now, this omega-6, the arachidonic acid, is the most inflammatory omega-6. So check this out, what we have right here. Is this ratio, his ratio is 40, right? 40 omega-6s, AAAs in particular, arachidonic acid. So he has 40 to 1 EPA, which is the omega-3, right? So this is, again, just confirming how inflamed he actually is, contributing to his problem. So there's a lot of things that you can do to decrease inflammation. Now, I want to caution this. It's not as easy as, oh, I'm just going to slam down some fish oil, right? You have to look at the underlying root causes of problems. But yes, we did put him on fish oil for sure, and that got him better. So this right here, this is what you're looking at. This is the test. It's called Omega-3 Index. And this one here is called the Plus test right here. So this is very simple. You order it. You basically pay online. They drop ship it. It's through my account. So when you order it and when you go buy it, it's going to be, from this webpage, you're going to click a button. It's going to take you to a website called Evexia. And basically you're putting your information in there. pay for it, and then Evexiate drop ships it to you. You get it in the mail, you prick your finger, you put it in the envelope that's already has postage on it, and just send it to the lab, and then I'll get it in my account. And then when I get it in my account, I email this to you. So it's very, very simple. And it's a $40 test. It could actually change a lot of things in your health. Now, this is a good visual. I always say that a picture's worth 1,000 words. So let's see this. So this right here, what I was telling you is that the omega-3, the thumbs up, has really two really important fats. It has the EPA and the DHA, right? So these are the really, really important fats that make our cell membrane. Now, when God designed us, we're basically 30 trillion, yes, 30 trillion cells, and every cell membrane has the same structure, and this is made up of this EPA. So you see this EPA right here? See, it's blue, this little squiggly line right there, that's the EPA. Now you can see when it comes to your cell membranes in here, how much EPA there actually is in the cell membrane. Now, the EPA is one of the three omega-3s, and this decreases inflammation. So this is decreasing inflammation because you have this EPA, which is the omega-3. Now, if we had the AA, which is the arachidonic acid, this would be pro-inflammation. Now, same thing down in here. You can see this down in here. This is another part of the omega-3, which is called the DHA. And you can see this little green arrow right in here. You see how they're kind of bent with like little hooks? So when they're bent with little hooks, that can make your cell membranes move. So this is your cell membranes. So here's your cell, right? Here's your cell being very stiff. It doesn't move. Now here's your cell membranes being very fluid. They don't have inflammation. They have an abundance of omega-3, which is the EPA and DHA that decreases inflammation. When they're fluid, guess what? Your cells poop. And when they poop, they can detoxify. This poop can be removed outside of the cell, and then your body can take it away. But when your cells are inflamed, it's very stiff. It becomes crusty, and it can't detoxify. It can't eliminate its byproducts, and the cell just doesn't function. And guess what? Trillions and millions and millions and millions of cells make up a tissue, right? Millions and millions of cells make up an organ, and all the organs make up the human body. So we really want to make sure that your cell membranes are healthy and things can get in the cell and out of the cell. Now, this is another example. We've all had a jelly donut, right? Now, if you go and get a jelly donut and it's fresh, it's very moist, right? It's very moist. Now, if you eat that jelly donut 2 days later, it's very crusty. This is what happens to your cells when you are inflamed. And this test is one test, which I think it's a very powerful test because we're actually looking at the cell membranes. This test actually looks at the red blood cell, slices it, and sees how much omega-3 fatty acids are in your cells. So what's in your red blood cells is what's in your tissue. So this is why it is actually such a powerful, powerful test. Now, when we look at this, we're going to be looking at, you can see here, this is the brain, right? Then we have the brain, we have the neuron. Now, what happens is when we have these two different fats, when we have the EPA and the DHA, which are both omega-3s, right? They're both omega-3s. What we have here is the DHA is more highly concentrated in your brain. So what you can see right in here is when we talk about your brain, this is the neuron, right? So this is the neuron. And you can see this is highly concentrated DHA. You see this little, it's like a kind of a yellowish color. That's the DHA. That's in your brain and your neurons. So when someone comes to me with, let's say they have they have more neurological conditions. So maybe they have like neuropathy, or maybe they have anxiety, or they're having a lot of panic attacks, more stress related, more neurological. Then I'm going to be focusing on DHA. I would get a product to that person that is more DHA in concentration. Then we have the other good guy right here, which is the EPA, right? Which is EPA. And you can see here, this is the blood vessel. So the EPAs are more in your arms and your legs and your organs, where EPA is like, basically EPA is neck below, DHA is above for your brain. So these are very, very critical fats. I take these fats every single day. I mean, I make a living on my brain, so I do not want to mess around with how my brain functions and works. I want to give my brain the best possible fats. I want to give my arteries the best possible fats, and I want to decrease inflammation. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like, and if you want to order the test, it's really simple. Just click the link below. If you're on my website on this page, you're going to see a link below. I'll just say order the test or something like that. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go in the description and I'll give you a link to my website, this particular blog, and you'll be able to order it from there. So with that being said, where there's help, there's hope. Take care. This is Dr. Hugh.